Don't you be afraid.
The ANX Weekly update. Is it looking familiar? Does this screen look familiar?
No,
Vaguely.
Vaguely. Yeah.
Because I mean, I think it's probably been 3 years since you've done a weekly update.
Yeah,
Woo.
it's been a minute. It
Woo.
has been a minute.
So anyway, the ANX Weekly update and the Funko Pop of the week is Claptrap. Why is it Claptrap? Well, because Borderlands movie came out. That's what we're reviewing today. My Claptrap, some asshat wrote all over it.
Some asshat.
Right? I don't know. I just feel like that's a Claptrap term, right?
Okay.
Wrote all on it and signed their name at the bottom. So the person who signed their name at the bottom, his name is David Eddings. He's the original
OG
Claptrap voice actor that we met a few months ago. Tried to get him on the show. I didn't want Terrence. I didn't want you.
Well, that's okay.
I didn't want you. I was trying to get him on the show to do the Borderlands. Right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, bro. If you're watching, check your email, David. Check your electronic mail. I sent you an email. I think I might still try to get him on because to get his perspective about this movie, because I actually think he was instrumental in pitching the movie a long time ago when he was still with Gearbox. Right. So this is not Borderlands having a movie is not a new thing. Right. And
Yeah.
I think he had a big to do with that a long time ago, right?
Yeah, long build up.
Yeah, so it's like I would like to get his perspective on the final product.
Okay.
I already got his perspective on what he thought about, the lead up to the product. So I might still try to get him on. So David, bro, check your email. Please check your email. Check your email. This week in gaming history. Terrence, you see anything out here that you played or that you liked?
I played.
We're going to start with BioShock.
Play BioShock.
You played BioShock?
I did play BioShock.
August 21st, 2007.
That's a long time.
Speaking of 2K, hey, it's the same as Borderlands, huh? I didn't mind the story of BioShock.
What's it about?
I didn't like the gameplay.
And normally you okay with first person.
Yeah, but this one felt more like a PC to console port.
Okay.
So it felt
chunky.
Yeah, it just didn't feel smooth. What is it about? I don't know.
It's been too long.
I don't remember.
Alternate reality.
Steampunk universe.
Undersea,
yeah.
Harvesting,
something about harvesting, and I don't remember. For real.
And you had the little girls that were called. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Been a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I don't feel like what it was about was necessarily what drew people to it.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of thing.
I've just heard it. I mean, I've heard BioShock.
Well, because it had 3 games, and then they went into BioShock Infinite, and so it lasted a while.
It was more of that jump scare stuff.
Okay.
It was creepy. It was, I don't want to say scary, but it was supposed to be scary. It was that type of elements that it was a new that entry into sci-fi horror.
Okay.
And what was the other one? Dead Space.
Well, Dead Space was
so
gory.
These were out around.
And
I feel like
scare.
the same time, and so it was more of that. Like I said, jump scare, creepy. Somebody's over here doing something, mutilating somebody's body in the shadows, and you hear little screams here.
But BioShock, in that word, BioShock wasn't as graphic.
Okay.
No.
So BioShock was it
more
was
in
eerie.
the shadows.
Yes. So you could see a silhouette.
Something was coming. Something was big, something was right behind you. Like, it was that kind of thing. So I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah.
But again, to me, the controls and the gameplay were the problem for me.
Gotcha.
So next thing, August 22nd, 2006. We got Madden 07.
Oh, Madden. Mm-hmm.
Sean Alexander on the front.
That is correct.
That Madden curse, right?
That is correct. Because he
didn't last much longer after that. So, woo.
That's a bummer.
Throw them knees up. So Madden. You getting back on Madden?
No, but by the
No.
time I do get back on it, the changes won't be drastic, so it'll still be. It's to be Madden is Madden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not fun. It's not fun to me.
Because we remember, because in the podcasting time we did play. We did the one time.
Yeah, and I came back and
he came back at the end and he beat me by 3 points. I think 3 points, something like that.
I came out of retirement just to try another Madden, and I still wasn't like.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I remember now.
And I was like, it's just.
It's okay.
Well, it's too simulation like, I guess.
Correct. And it wasn't in the beginning.
And that could be fun, but when you're talking about the length of a game and how long it takes, you're talking about the length of a season and then a franchise mode, it's too long.
Yeah. And a lot of players who still play, there are two things they do. Either they play online for a quick fix, or they do the franchise mode. And if they may play with some other people where they switching players back and forth. So, you may be the Cowboys, but you may not have CeeDee Lamb. You may have Jefferson.
It's fantasy more.
Yeah, it's the fantasy realm. And 2K does it too, but Madden kind of started it off.
I wonder if Madden still does pretty well, like as far as sales.
Oh yeah.
It's always
it's Madden, 2K, and Call of Duty.
Those are the three.
And GTA.
What about NBA 2K? Does that still do pretty good?
Well, when I say 2K,
right.
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah. Now if he was talking about live, no.
Yeah.
But 2K is
Okay.
What's next? Dissidia, Final Fantasy, August 25th, 2009. And again, when we go through these are just games that we own. Other games came out, of course. Did you play Dissidia?
Briefly.
So I was completely let down by Dissidia.
Most people were.
Because when they first showed images of Dissidia, the graphics looked kind of good. And you thought that it might have been like a PS3 game. And then you found out that it wasn't. It was a PSP game. And then you found out that game wasn't really, I don't want to say it was an auto battler, but it wasn't as action based as the videos would lead you to believe.
Right. The cinematics and a lot of times Square Enix has done that.
Yeah.
You have these beautiful CG. You're like, oh man, it's gonna be awesome. And then you get it's like ping 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 ping, and you're like, wait a minute, that's really not what I saw in the.
Yeah. Now it let me down. But I think the graphics and the music and stuff did do a redemption for me where I would say that I did like the game at the end of the day.
Right.
But it was a complete letdown as more information came out, and then I finally got it and I was like, what is this? And then I just accepted it for what it was, and it was a kind of like a brand new game, like you really hadn't played anything like it before. So
but by that time people were like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Too late.
Right.
Deus Ex, Human Revolution.
Awesome.
Oh.
Awesome. One of your favorite games?
I'm of the steampunk era.
Yeah.
I like that feel, that artsy feel.
Mm-hmm.
Now don't get me wrong. Step back for a second. Final Fantasy's artwork has always been
top notch.
That's the standard.
That is the standard. But with the steampunk, you can get the grimy, you can get the kind of dirtier feel, and still like it, and it still looks good. And this had an interesting story as well, so that made it better. Because at that time, movies and games weren't strictly plot
Wait, what?
Plot twist.
I'm about to blank that out.
Oh, it was like twaplet.
You said something else.
A plot twist.
Okay.
So we get a game and it was pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, plot twist. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, plot twist, plot twist, plot twist, plot twist.
Nonstop.
Look, man, give me some,
Calm it down.
Yeah. I mean, I know that people's attention spans is not the same, but you'd be surprised if you put a good product out there.
This reminds me of, like, if you just look real quickly at it, it looks like Matrix.
A little bit.
Like not his outfit, but just if you just look at his glasses.
The glasses, yeah. So anyway, last but not least, this is crazy that this is our 150th episode, and this game, which got everything started with our podcast.
Is that King of Fighters?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
August 23rd, 2016.
MB.
There was
one of his favorites. So
there was many of shouting matches between Mike B. about this game
and franchise. Yeah, man. And at the end of the day, if I still have to, I mean, it's been years later now. Street Fighter is still better than King of Fighters. It's not even close. It's not really a debate. I think I finally got Mike to admit that on a podcast at one point. I would need to go find that audio. But yeah, that's the thing that got our podcast started. The debate about Street Fighter versus King of Fighters. Well, not the best, but which one was better?
So,
because to me, the best one is not even in that conversation. It's Tekken. Tekken is the best fighting franchise ever.
So, Street Fighter is smooth. It has a smoother feel to me.
Which one?
Street Fighter.
Oh, Street Fighter, yeah.
Has a smoother feel to me as far as fighting.
Oh yeah.
But if you want more mechanics, fighting mechanics, it's Tekken. And then, if you want to go out and be AA, BB, controller, then King of the Fighters.
Mike was gonna die on that hill.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like King of Fighters is so basic, and I feel like it's really more of akin to like Mortal Kombat. How basic the fighting mechanics were in Mortal Kombat. That's how I feel about. I feel restricted when I play King of Fighters, and it's not fun.
So King of Fighters always gave you multiple characters, because Street Fighter, it gave you, I think, 12.
Yeah.
The earlier on was 12.
So you starting to sound like Mike B, because that was his big argument.
No, but he's got a butt. I can tell.
All right.
But
all right,
those 12 characters, they were polished. So
right, you have a bunch of mediocre over here.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you are somebody who likes to keep distance, like this man over here, and throwing all these dang fireballs.
I don't throw fireballs. No. You better go back and watch the tape when I beat you down.
No, what you did was
I beat you down.
Fireball. Jump turns. Oh, okay. I land into an uppercut. So what he did was,
I didn't throw fireball. I don't throw fireballs.
What he did was he kept distance.
Yeah.
No, I apply pressure. I don't keep distance. You need to go back and watch tape.
In Tekken,
go back and watch tape.
Tekken, when I watch you play, it is pressure. When I watch you play, it is a lot of pressure. But we can rehash.
I mean, we can set up Tekken.
No, that's your. Because
we can finish Borderlands review later.
Okay,
we're about to set up Tekken right now.
I was like, you telling me to leave?
Yeah.
We had on TV. We had about an hour and a half
on Street Fighter. Yeah. We watched it recently.
Okay.
Because what happened after that, after you disappeared, after the Mortal Kombat deal, what happened was people getting on me because I said I don't block in fighting games. That's what I said on one of the Mortal Kombat reviews.
And they lost their
mind saying I don't block, therefore I don't know how to play. I don't know what I'm doing. Right?
He doesn't know what he's doing.
So I actually went back and watched our fight. 10 fights. I beat you 9 times. I blocked how many times? 4. The whole time we played, I blocked 4 times or something like that.
Yeah, we counted it.
It was low single digits how many times I blocked when I played you. And so it's just like, I just felt like the people out there could learn a new style of play because I apply pressure. If you apply enough pressure, you don't have to block.
Right. Well, a lot of people, what they do is they do a lot of counter. Counter,
block, parry, crush counter.
Yeah. So, and I guess that's the way people fight,
But I even feel like parry and counters are different than blocking.
Yeah.
Some people just sit there with the turtle method and just sit there and block all day, crouch and block. And then they come back with some big combo because they're building up gauge and they think they did something. It's like, that's not fighting.
So, because with parry,
you blocked and did a special.
With a parry, it opens up the other character. So they may, I'm stumbled back. Now you're wide open. So, especially with Tekken, when you parry in Tekken, you kind of set yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Unless the person doesn't understand that character.
I don't want to hear nothing about Tekken. We played Tekken for 4 days straight at A-Fest, and you were nowhere to be found.
But that's another story.
That's a whole nother story.
But people were loving that we had Tekken.
People loved that Tekken, boy.
They just kept coming back.
It drew the crowds, boy.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's the best fighting game ever.
So hold on. So yours is Tekken.
Yeah.
Then Street Fighter.
Probably.
Then
I haven't really,
King of the Fighter.
No. King of Fighters. I will go out on a limb and say King of Fighters definitely. It might not even be in my top 10.
Because I remember when I was a kid, DOA was.
I about to say Dead or Alive is in my top 5.
Now they haven't done anything of recent, but
still.
What was that one you played? One
a Virtual Fighter.
Virtual Fighter was one of the.
Is in my top 5.
There was a DC one.
The Injustice. That's trash.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a Mortal Kombat. It's the same.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the same. It's same company.
Oh.
Now, if we're talking about franchises, then if we're talking about just a specific title, I mean, like Mortal Kombat Trilogy is up there for me.
Okay.
For the Nintendo 64, all the verses like the Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Okay.
Is probably in my top 5. Marvel's Capcom, like King of Fighters not even in my top 10.
Because I remember when I was a kid, we played Darkstalkers.
Yeah, that's more of that sprite based versus.
But it was still on the lines of Marvel, Capcom.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they had some other ones.
The rival schools and like all that stuff.
Right. So they had some other things that were out there and were welcomed.
Yeah.
And left, but because I remember King of the Fighters when it was only 5 people.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
now they have like 25.
I remember playing King of Fighters and I played it at the the Washateria at the arcade back in the early 90s.
Neo Geo.
The Neo Geo arcade cabinet. Yeah.
So it had like 5.
The red with the white.
Yeah. I think it had like 5 or 6 characters. It was the Billy. It was the chick that was the bouncer. I don't remember the name offhand. It was Haggard. No. I'm getting my games mixed up. But
too long ago.
Yeah.
But whatever. 5 people.
It had 5 people. It had a guy who martial artist. You had Billy with the baseball cap.
Billy.
And the cut off jean jacket. And then you had King. Her name was King. She was the bouncer.
Okay.
Now, if anybody out there wants to debate about Tekken not being the best, which I don't think is a whole lot of y'all out there. There's some people out there that don't like Tekken because it's too complex for them and they can't get the controls. That's really a different story. But if anybody out there wants to debate about it, at the end of the day, if they ever came out with a Tekken Tag Tournament 3, that would just shut down all debates. Because if you make a Tekken Tag Tournament but with Tekken 7 styles, that's it. It's over. It's 100% over. I think it's already over, but whatever. Tekken Tag Tournament 3. I'm ready. If y'all listening,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Anyway. All right. We probably should have started with this, but that's just not the way our show is set up. Rachael Lillis passed away a few days ago.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of weird information floating around, but I think the official thing is that she was 55 and she passed away of cancer. I saw some stuff about her being 46. I saw people posting stuff of like pictures that wasn't her. It's just a lot of weird stuff going on. A lot of people trying to jump on that train, but you end up looking like posers because you don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's sad. That's so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing that I started thinking about when I got the news was, to be fair, like I never even heard of her.
Yeah.
Now, also to be fair, I had not watched Pokemon in 20 years.
Yeah, but I wonder. We watched that movie, right? Didn't we watch a Pokemon movie?
Probably. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Because I don't know if she was doing like old school, like 55, she could have been like 30 years ago doing the show, right? 20, 30 years ago, the Pokemon show.
Yeah, I mean, she did like over 400 episodes. She voiced Misty and Jessie up until like 2015, I think.
Okay, so she's been doing this since a long time.
But it just got me thinking, like, think the kids nowadays, I'm starting to sound like an old person, like they are just in a really good space because the voice actors that they're listening to, they actually get to meet.
Oh yeah.
And see.
Yeah.
So like I grew up with Misty. I did not. No. That's not the right word. Yeah, I guess we could say grew up with Misty, but in my early adult years, I no longer watch Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then now that I'm in a place now where I can start meeting my favorite voice actors, like Misty would not necessarily be on the list because it was from my childhood.
Yeah.
A childhood thing for me.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just like, damn, what if I was a kid now and just could go out on a random Saturday?
I know, it's crazy.
And then meet your favorite voice actor. Because I'm not trying to diss, but when I think about Misty and James and Jigglypuff and all the different characters and voices that she did, it's kind of like the people that are still admired from our childhood, I feel like she might be way more talented than them.
Yeah.
Think about who's popular and like Jaleel White.
Okay.
I'm not talking Jaleel White the voice actor because I know he did Sonic. I'm just saying the actor.
Yeah.
Urkel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Childhood. I think of Family.
Family Matters.
TGIF. We talked about it more recently, right?
Yeah.
And people know he's a household name. I don't think he's as talented as what was going on here with this voice actor.
Yeah. Well,
but people don't know who she is.
That happens a lot, though. Unfortunately.
That's all. But nowadays, there is no Jaleel White. You got reality TV, which a lot of kids are not watching, and then you got a bunch of Crunchyroll stuff going on, anime,
yeah,
and then YouTubers and stuff like that, and these kids can actually go meet them, and they know their names more than they might know a name of a person from like a popular TV show now.
Yeah.
So it's just things have changed, and I just think that's dope for the kids.
Of course. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, the people that I see now that are doing, like, they have a 90s con and like all the people from Beverly Hills 90210 over there. And I'm just like I really want to go. But if I had been able to meet them back then,
yeah.
That would have been, I can't even imagine how excited. I would have been crying.
So that's what I said. She kind of fit like in the middle of all of this. The 90s, she started in the late 90s, but the 90s, and 80s is celebrities, is stars, these TV stars, right? But now it's a lot of voice actors.
Yeah.
So she wasn't the original.
No, she was.
Yes.
Pokemon started in the 90s?
Yeah. Yeah. Pocket Monsters.
400 episodes and at least 3 different characters, probably more.
Yeah, two main characters, and she probably did some
a lot of
background
them,
extra character. Yeah, over 400 episodes that she did on Pokemon. And the thing that I vividly remember about Pokemon now as an adult, maybe even more than the Pokemon themselves, were the characters and their voices. Like Ash had the unique voice. Misty had the unique voice. Obviously, the Pokemon had unique voices, Pikachu and all that. So it's like that's, to me, for some reason, that's what stands out more than the actual Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon, the actual Pokemon stand out to me in like the games. Because I was able to use them and fight them. This TV show is more about Ash and Pikachu.
Correct.
And less about any specific Pokemon.
Right, and then the movies were different because they actually specifically to that
one special
character.
Pokemon, right? And the connection to the character, and then the other thing is the relationship between the characters, right?
Yeah.
So
I just remember, and they even do it in some of the shows we watch now. There is no time.
No time.
There's no sense of time.
Oh yeah. Even on reality shows, I feel like they try to not even mention dates because they're doing things probably out of order,
right?
So they don't mention.
So when you mean time, do you mean like people don't age?
Well, that's another one, but I just mean like day is night is day, and sometimes when you would watch Pokemon, is it like she said? Is this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or is it the sense of time.
You talking about on the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there no time?
Like like Pokemon was dope to me because it's just this real free thought of going out on an adventure.
Correct.
And just like you said, no sense of time, no school.
Yeah.
You just out here catching and fighting and hanging out with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, to me, that ended up being the appeal of Pokemon.
Or Pikachu got mad at Ash.
Light his ass up.
Yep.
It's the same thing though with shows like Friends. It makes you watch the show and you're like, it seems like these people never work. They're always at the coffee house or they're hanging around. Yep. And it's idyllic because you wish your life could just be like that. But obviously it's not.
Yeah, people got to work.
Yeah. People
got to work unless you go around catch Pokemon and knock apples out the tree. But anyway, so it I think it just hit home. Like I said, it hit home for me because there's a lot of voice actors that I have met that we are able to meet. This is one that I would, if I had actually thought about it, I would have loved to meet, but now won't get the chance to.
Yeah, that's so sad.
So yeah, so that sucks. So anyway, just wanted to point that out because I'm not sure if I'm sitting here doing this podcast if it weren't for Pokemon. I'm not
really?
Sure. I'm not 100% sure.
Really?
Because like I said, I watched Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z, but it was scarce. It was like the Ocean dub. It wasn't mainstream yet. The first mainstream anime that I watched was Pokemon.
Wow.
That was the first mainstream. Like this came on TV. This was a big deal. It's still a big deal. I mean, it changed. No, Pokemon. And then after Pokemon, I think that's when Sailor Moon got picked up on Toonami and blah blah blah. Right? Sailor Moon was I saw Sailor Moon, but it wasn't that big thing yet.
Okay.
And then Pokemon, then it was Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon that kind of blew up after that.
So they were on, but they were slow running.
It was on and it was limited, and like I said, it only came on local TV 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Well, and Pokemon's one of those things like it stands the test of time because just like in the 90s you were watching as a kid, kids today are watching Pokemon.
Yep.
It's so funny. It's like, It's weird when you're like, your friend's kids or your niece and nephew, whatever, all into Pokemon. I'm like, that is so funny.
Yeah, I don't watch it anymore. Or
no.
Is my son into the whole? No, I'm not to say that I wouldn't introduce him to it.
Yeah. We'll just be prepared that because if you introduce him, then you got to sit through it.
Yeah. Get ready to buy some cards.
Right. So only introduce him things that you like.
Yeah. When he gets a little bit older than where he's at now, Yu-Gi-Oh, time to buy some Time to Duel, to buy some cards.
That changes the dynamics because that was something that I truly enjoyed as well. And that is also like Pokemon, a time tested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, that sucks, but it's time to move on. Eternals 2 canceled. Or was it? I don't know. What you think? You sound like you know something about this.
Oh, well, yeah, it sounds like from what I a little bit of digging that I did, I don't think they've come out and said it's canceled, we're not doing it, but there appears to be no movement, no plan of movement, no nothing.
Yeah, so some of the things that I saw was basically more of a they will probably definitely still use these characters.
Yes,
but just for something else. So, but I don't know if that's the right move either. I think making Eternals 2 is the wrong move because we've seen what happens to stuff that people just keep bashing.
Yeah.
It would just do well. It would just do bad and it would just fail. Now I don't think they should go that route. If you put out a quality thing and it goes within the cohesion of what you're trying to build, then do it, right? But I get it. Everybody's trying to save $1, right? We don't want to put out something that's just going to flop. However, I'm not necessarily sure that doing what they might do is going to work either.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what they did with the Marvels.
They only have
with Captain Marvel. Let's put her in with these other things that we built and put out one movie with all three elements here. And that didn't necessarily work either. The movie was fine. I enjoyed the movie,
right,
but it didn't do well because you still had the thing in there that people had been bashing, which was Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even have to get into the reasons it was being bashed, but people were just bad. Like the same thing here. We don't have to get into the specific reasons why Eternals was being bashed, but it was being bashed, and you I guess you have to change course. I don't know. You let the haters win and you change course, I guess. I don't know.
So for me, Eternals, at the end of the movie, was it 3 characters left or 4? There weren't very many characters that didn't die.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was like 6 characters, wasn't there? Main characters, 6 or 7?
Well, 3 or 4 of those died within the movie.
Yeah.
So if you do want to do something with it, and you want to put them here and here and here, I don't think that's a bad thing. But if you're going to do something, don't just put them in there for cameos.
But I feel like you should. I feel like you should properly use them as cameos, because these are like the ultimate cameos. Because you've been around. I really enjoyed, and I wish they would have done it a little more, showing where they were at and what they were doing when certain things were happening. So I just feel like you can go back
based upon the time.
Well, I mean, they had to have. I can only assume, which I could still be wrong. I can only assume they made this movie for a reason. They're trying to bridge something by introducing these people as a group and this whole storyline. So that's fine if you want to break it off and do an individual movies or whatever. But like you said, do it only if it makes sense. Don't just do it just to do it. Yeah,
let's like I have a thing of strawberries, but I want to throw a couple grapes in there just to change. Like if there is a storyline or a storyline that makes sense, or a lot of times for us comic heads, that seems that has been proven to be done or happen, then I'm okay with it.
Like a Cersei or something, like pick the person that's going to have the most impact.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, we've seen it with the numbers. Like people are not latching on, and maybe there just needs to be more time. They're not latching on to these new characters. And I say new because comic book people prior had heard of these people. But, the biggest numbers are with like Spider-Man and the Avengers and whatever. So it's like we saw low numbers with Shang-Chi. We saw low numbers with the Eternals, like kind of introduction of new characters, right?
Well, I'm glad you said Shang-Chi, because I think Shang-Chi 2 is still in development.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think if you just talk to random people, they will tell you Shang-Chi was dope and Shang-Chi wasn't the problem with the current MCU. Eternals suck, and Eternals is the problem with with the current MCU. Shang-Chi only made $30 million more than the Eternals.
Yeah, they were both low. And they came out in 21.
Well, you say it's low.
Well, comparatively speaking.
They both almost made $500 million.
I mean, yes. I just mean comparatively speaking to other.
So they weren't.
I like Shang-Chi.
So they weren't.
I liked
so
it.
they weren't flops.
No.
They didn't lose money on either movie, and they both performed about the same. But yet one is like, oh, yeah, this is it, and the other one is like, no, this is horrible. Never do this again. And to me, honestly, the better movie was Eternals.
Do you remember hearing anything about Black Widow? Because it came out also in 21, and it also did pretty. It was low.
I think that was that first COVID movie though.
Yeah,
but was it? Yeah, was it low because? And I think we talked about this. They put it on both.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing. Yeah. Scarlett Johansson.
She was suing about that.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. That's kind of
which is funny because they don't. After that, you don't see movies. There's a grace period before the movie comes to Disney. Now.
Yeah.
So. Hey.
So yeah, like I said, better movie A to Z was the Eternals. Was it long? Yeah. I mean, most it was a little slow. Yeah, probably most origin stories are slow. That was a part of Shang-Chi that was slow.
Yeah.
But this one had 6-7 characters they were trying to introduce all in one movie.
That's the other thing. It's an origin story. You have to give it a minute.
Yeah.
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 So I'm with you. Like I'm not like, please, you have to come out with a Eternals 2. You have, but I wouldn't say give up on it. Just,
no. Just the action scenes, the different powers of all the different characters, all in one movie. It gave me what I've been missing because we don't have X-Men. This gave me superpowers, right? Super moves, super speed, super. With a lot of times you don't really get that from Avengers a lot. You get it from Strange and Wanda and a little bit from Vision, but your main characters in the Avengers don't operate that way.
Yeah,
necessarily. So anyway,
they're not meta. No, they're not. What is the word they use for? So X-Men, they use there's a name that they use for superior.
The omega level mutants.
No, like Homo sapien, but they use something else.
Oh.
There's a word they use for like because of humans are Homo sapiens, but because they have these powers or they're gifted, they give them it was a different name. I forgot what the name was off the hand, but that's where I can see. But for me, as long if you choose to put them in all these other movies, I'm okay with it. As long as it's not like, hey, you remember me? And then I'm gone.
Yeah. Purpose.
Yeah.
There should be purpose in, Yeah,
because I think I'm more, I want to know more about their backstory than I do necessarily. I'm fine with a story with them going forward, but I want to know more about the backstory.
Like, I do too.
Like, for example,
that period of time in between.
Yeah.
From the time that they came here to.
Because that's my biggest question. Where the hell were you when Thanos was running around?
And what's happened to you? Like, what have you been through? Because most of them have been through something.
Now, I know they cleaned it up by saying we're not supposed to interfere, but you showed in that movie that you did interfere at certain points. So therefore, were you here? Did you do something? Did you interfere? But maybe not directly, but indirectly. And then how did that tie into who did you meet? Who did you talk to? Because it's the same thing. And I don't want to spoil too much for you with Deadpool Wolverine because I know you hadn't seen it. But it was the same thing there. The cameos that were in the movie, how did y'all get to the Void? It's the same kind of that.
Right.
So
how'd you get here?
It could be a Disney Plus show.
Okay.
Showing little past events of
tie-ups.
That's an idea.
Right.
Tie-ups.
So anyway, I would be happy with that as well. Like I said, I don't need Eternals 2.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the better movies more recently, and it's unfortunate that we won't be getting another one anytime soon.
So, that being said, there is a character that they introduced by the character who plays my boy Jon Snow from Game of Thrones at the end.
The Black Knight?
Yes.
So
I
mean, I don't know how you make a Black Knight movie without like continuing the Eternals franchise. And I feel like the Eternals was a stretch because nobody knew who they were.
Well, yeah,
I feel like a Black Knight is even more of a stretch. Or the same amount of stretch.
So with him, he will periodically show up in Avengers stuff or whatever. What's happened is this, and I get it. Yes, you had to. Avengers has become this entity, and because it's this big entity, it's like the sun. Anything that you put in, it just kind of swallows up. If it's outside of the scope of Avengers, and most of these characters, Eternals. Now, Shang-Chi will become an Avenger,
right?
But a lot of these aren't. And so therefore they're just getting swallowed up inside. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, okay.
Well, I think there were certain characters that blew up just based off the MCU fame, but it's not the characters that people say they are. Like they say the only reason Captain Marvel blew up and made over $1 billion was just riding the coattails of this MCU thing, and it came out before Endgame. I knew who Captain Marvel was before these came out. Like, but for example, I didn't know who the hell Ant-Man was.
And see,
I didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy were. But they worked as well as far as making money and being popular. So then you tried it again here in this next phase. It just didn't work.
And so I knew Ant-Man, old Ant-Man, like,
you knew Hank Pym,
right? And then
y'all the same age.
No, and then they brought this other one, so it's like, oh, okay, but he's witty. He's got that clever humor.
Yeah, he's clever for sure.
And what's kind of funny is this: in the MC universe, there's more humor than most of us comic heads are accustomed to.
Yeah,
there's more more friendly. Where it was more like, I am Thor. Here's my hammer. Let me crush you with it. Now it's more. I had a beer.
Well, save that because we got a whole segment coming up about that in this episode about source material and is it important to stick to it.
Okay.
So save that. I'm Thor. I will smash you with my hammer. We got one more story before we get to round one. We're not even round one yet. Beau DeMayo stripped of season 2 writing credits.
Yeah. I don't know about this. And he also created. He's not just a writer. He created. From everything I've read, he created X-Men 97.
Yeah. Showrunner for X-Men 97. If anybody can remember, because I don't think I'm 100% sure Beau DeMayo's not a household name. But I think people do remember, probably will remember the story of X-Men 97 came out, and that same week that it came out, they fired the head guy. He was the head guy that got fired. So that's not what this story is about. As you can see, it's talking about season 2. So apparently they had already started working and or writing for season 2. But he is now no longer being credited for anything to do with season 2. Even though I guess he had already started working and writing on it before he got fired.
Yeah.
Now, according to him, he put out a gay pride post, a picture of himself in comic book form on a beach in Cyclops' uniform. Think of Cyclops in his blue and yellow uniform, and then take all the blue away. It was a gay pride post.
But it wasn't like explicit or anything.
No, it wasn't explicit. But it was a gay pride post. And then according to him, he's alleging that they sent him the letter saying you won't get credit for season 2 because of the post.
But what's crazy is that was in June. He was fired. He had already been fired in March. So it's like,
right. But but you should still get writing credits if you wrote something.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my thing. I think this is going to be a tricky situation for Disney, because my thing is, if any little drop of an idea that I had, especially if I can prove that I had the idea, no, you got to pay me. You might not want my name on stuff, because so apparently he got fired for some other reason.
Egregious behavior.
I've read it. I've read what he allegedly had did and said and whatever, but I haven't seen it from a credible source, so I'm not gonna say it here because I ain't trying to get nobody suing me over nothing.
We don't want to spread rumors.
Now, if this keeps going down the road that is clearly going down, it will go to court.
Oh yeah.
And when it gets to court, all the egregious behavior that Disney found in their investigation will come out. Mm-hmm. So we'll really know if he did what people are saying he did on the internet.
Yeah. Well,
but my thing is, it doesn't even matter if he did those things. I feel like he could have murdered somebody.
He still wrote it. If y'all going to use, yeah. But if you use what he wrote,
but if he wrote this part, this story, go this direction, episode 1, this person, these characters do this and do that, he got to get credit for it.
Right. Still got to get paid.
Still got to. That's just how it works. You can't just erase somebody from existence just because you don't want to employ them anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out. I hadn't heard anything. I read a couple of articles, but again, I picked reputable sources, right, and they're not reporting on the hearsay or whatever,
right, on why he got fired.
They don't want to touch it.
No, because they don't have. It's not credible.
Now, real quick, because you've been gone for like a year.
Yeah.
X-Men 97.
I like it.
Oh, you watched it?
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All the way up to be continued.
What did you like about it?
So there are characters I like. I like Forge. Of course, I like Storm. I like Jubilee. Of course, Cyclops and Jean. I kind of like the Jean Grey and Madame Grey.
Madeline Pryor.
That whole twist, kinda. And then, are we talking about it? You already talked about it?
Oh, we already. I just wanted to get your two quick take on it.
And then when Professor X went up and he was getting ready to get his marriage on, and then he was like, I got to come back and help my children.
Yeah. I gotta go.
I kind of was like, they're kind of like, but I did like the because nobody in the anime has ever showed the battle between Magneto and Wolverine and what he did, because that was comic book. That portion where he ripped out the metal, that was comic book. So I like how he tried to, but I felt like at times it was like all over the place.
Oh yeah. I
mean, when he did come back and he tried to do things, I thought that they were good, but then there are times when you're like, wait a minute.
So let me ask you just a couple of quick questions, because based off my take. So the bad voice acting, the bad graphics, the bad story writing and development of characters, the cheesy writing, like none of that bothered you?
So here's the thing. It's X-Men 97. So I don't expect superior graphics because it's trying to.
But it wasn't made in 97.
No, but it was trying to
mimic.
Based upon the animation that had been out before.
But you can make it better. You can use the same art style, but make it better. Like it, you know. Like I said,
he was trying. I think he was trying to keep it for that purpose of let's go back. Because if you look at it with the other one, the one that came out but prior to the 97 or whatever, is. The artwork is really similar. The voice acting
was trash,
but it was based upon that time period. So like it's like right now, prime example. So I watched this weekend. I've been on my Alien kick because Alien, of course, came out this weekend. So I went back and watched the first one. My God.
I don't want to hear it.
20th Century Fox comes up and it's like dum 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 dum. Damn. And it's like
fuzzy.
It's like you could take it and push the 20th Century Fox down because you know it's like a platform. And then the movie was the same way, but based upon what you see now, you know it's 10 times different. So what I'm thinking he was trying to pay homage, but to what was there.
No, and that's what I said. I appreciate the attempt with the voice actors and the art style. That doesn't mean it was good. That doesn't mean you pulled it off. That doesn't mean it was enjoyable. Two different things.
So yeah, like, I wasn't looking at it for I was looking at it for nostalgia. So based upon nostalgia, it was close in what
from a nostalgia purpose it was it was
if you
cool.
Want to say but all over the place, it was
way too fast.
It was too fast for me.
They should have slowed it down. Did a little more character development.
So much into every episode,
and they probably should have ended the season with Genosha. Like that should have been after all the massacre and the genocide, the Genosha, and that probably should have ended the season.
So you remember when it first came out on Disney Plus? Episodes didn't come out weekly. The first couple episodes, it took a minute for them to come out, and then they started to get.
I think it was like 6. Didn't they release?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Because we didn't watch it when it first came out.
Okay, all right.
So when it first came out, it was like boom. Boom. So it's like, okay, is it coming out every once a month or is it going to come out once a week? Because, you know, most of the stuff on Disney comes out once a week.
Yeah.
And they do like a season and then you got, you know, another season and a half before you get something else. So with this one, it seemed like, yes, they packed a lot of stuff in all at one time, but like you said.
But they have to know that most people maybe are not watching it like day one, like not appointment viewing. They have to know people binge this stuff.
There are people who binge.
I think most people binge TV series. Like there's not a whole lot of people just keeping up with things every single week as they drop or every 2
I
or
prefer
whatever
to binge, especially if I like it, because I don't want to have to wait.
So, and I'm opposite.
I'd rather watch it. I'd rather watch it every week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I do.
But they have to know that people aren't doing that like they used to. Therefore, if you release it in that way, and it can't,
you can lose some people.
It can't be easily digest by binging. That's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I was really looking forward to it. I didn't think it was bad, but I had a lot of trouble keeping up. I was kind of getting confused because they were going so fast.
And it was going in so many different directions. So on top of being fast, now you're talking about. And I do that myself sometimes. Talk about 10 like you said before.
Jumping around.
Yeah. But even if I can't, and I do jump around, it's a problem. So I was like, ew.
And you're already familiar with the story.
Correct.
Like I don't know anything, and I'm like, Wait, what?
But this was out of order.
This is a lack of character development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kind of jumped in.
Now, but so here's the other one for his defense on that one. If you watched the previous one, all of these characters were in there. The previous, most of them. Madeline Gray wasn't in there, but
who the hell is Madeline Gray?
What's her name?
I'm not saying it no more.
Oh.
I already said it.
I thought that's what you said.
Madeline Gray? No.
Oh.
No. So we'll say the other
Madeline.
Yes, the other Jean Grey. But and we know it's like she's a comic, but they didn't give no time. It was like, oh, we had a baby. Boom.
I know. I was just like,
yeah,
whoa.
That's what we talked about on the show. I mean, that's trash to me. That's garbage.
Sometimes I don't want character development because I already know.
Yeah, because you already know.
I already know.
Some of us need it.
But yeah, so you got to give it. But like that's why I like to think sometimes when combo kids, self included, when we get mad about how they don't follow the comic.
Oh, so save it. It's coming up. Keep touring. He good at these teases, right? We got to get to it though. Man, y'all ready for the next round?
Yes.
That's cool.
X-Men 97 was trash.